Welcome back, guys, to more Factorio, the Block of C. This is episode number 33. Yeah, I just did an intro that rhymed. Okay, but we're never doing that again. It was just an experiment, and I think we failed. So, this is a new episode of Factorio, and today we get to do something kind of fun. We get to make this little weird coinky-dink, this guy. The rocket silo might be important to our plans. And ever since researching the rocket silo, we have this new little guy up here, SpaceX, which is basically the end game for the mod pack. And if I click it, we open this, we get a little summary here, and it says, Space Progress Summary, Satellite Network Progress, 0 out of 7. So, basically what that means, we need to launch 7 satellites, just like you would normally do with rockets. And once you've done that, I think we'll get some additional information. That is officially the end game for C Block. And it starts basically here. You start making assembly robots. You've got a dry dock assembly stuff. And then you've got to, I think the way it works is instead of shooting satellites up, we have to research these guys, craft each one, and then shoot them up into space. We need an astrometrics lab up in space. We need life support up in space. We need spaceship thrusters. We need that up in space. And then at the very end, we've got to research faster-than-light propulsion systems. Before we do that, we've got to do some faster-than-light theory, which is going to take a long time. And then we're going to craft a faster-than-light drive, shoot that up into space, and then I think that's the end. But that's still kind of a ways away. We've got him. Did the rocket... Oh, it just finished. Look at that. Good timing, myself. All right, so we're going to plop that down in a second. I did add a few extra things that we're going to need to craft all this stuff. So we've got a new battery type here, the lithium-ion battery made with lithium perchlorate and lithium cobalt oxide. That sounds complicated. It's not very complicated. I brought some cobalt ore down into the base, and we're processing that just like we always have. That's getting put into a chemical furnace with some limestone, and that's turned into cobalt oxide. And then we're smelting that with lithium bars into lithium cobalt oxide. So it's not that complicated. It's just something extra we needed. We also needed to be making sodium hydroxide, so we've got some of that going here. I upgraded more machines. We've got salination plant 2 and electrolyzer 4. And then up here, this construction is making this stuff. It's making silver oxide, which is silver nitrate and sodium hydroxide. And all these machines, it's just same basic chemistry we've been doing before. We're taking the air, we're separating it, we're taking the nitrogen and some hydrogen, and we're making ammonia, and then that's going to make nitrogen monoxide, and that's making nitrogen dioxide. And that's going in here with some silver bars to make silver nitrite, etc., etc. We're just making a new thing. That's the only thing you have to really keep track of. Silver oxide we needed for one of the batteries. So now we got green batteries and we got blue batteries. Lithium-ion batteries. Take this stuff. And then the one down here, the silver zinc battery. We need that stuff for the to make the satellite, and we also will need it eventually for some high-end robots and stuff like that. So, there we go. Let's go plop down Mr. Silo. And now it's nighttime again. I think the place we wanted that would be cool is right down here, right centered beneath all the other research stuff. Where'd it go? There it is. Bam! Okay, is it an even or odd number? I forget. It's odd. That's unfortunate. But there we go. I guess we can plug it in. Cycle my bars around to find the right one. Okay, so this operates just like the vanilla version, only it just takes more complicated stuff to make the 3 components. We've got to make low-density structures, which is your basic factory check. Can you make some basic stuff in high quantities? Then you've got to make rocket control units, which is your tech check. Can you make some more complicated items, some more techie things? And then you've got your oil check, basically. Have you figured out how to manipulate the petrochemical stuff? Rocket fuel. Only, of course, it's going to be way more complicated, particularly the rocket fuel. And we also need to make the satellite, of course. So let's see, where is that? It should be here somewhere, right? Satellite. I actually don't remember where it is. I don't see it. Is it right in front of me? Let's just search. There it is. Oh, yeah, okay. So it takes all that stuff, low-density structures, solar panels. That looks like a ton of stuff, and it is. But you have to keep in mind that this base is not nearly going to be as fast as vanilla base. So we only need, like, one of these, not even one a minute, because we're not producing the other science that fast either. So, yeah, we're not going to be producing these super fast, but that is okay. And then we'll need some machines making the other stuff. And I'm thinking one thing I might try, since this thing is so big, it's maybe not necessary, but we might try, and the range of the Beacon Mark IIIs is so big, we might try direct insertion with these machines. So we need, let's see, can we find them? Is it there? No. Is it here? Is it here? There it is. I guess because they're vanilla items, but they've got new recipes, so titanium and nitinol and plastic instead of steel and copper or whatever the vanilla version takes. So we're going to need some of those on one side, and on the other side we'll need the other dude, the rocket control unit. This is why we're bringing the speed modules down specifically for this one instance. We have speed module 1s on the main bus, and that'll also take the electronic processing board. And then the other thing we're going to need is the rocket fuel, which is not there. So it's probably petrochemical refining. Nope. Can we find it? If it takes more than like 5 seconds, I'm just going to search. All right, I don't see it. What category are you in? Rocket. That's a rocket engine. Oh, right. Okay, I understand why. I get it. Probably chemical plants. Rocket fuel. Where are you? There you go. Okay, so we need the chemical plants. 10 of those and 10 of those. This is going to get extremely complicated, and it's going to take a huge chain of different chemical plants to make our rocket fuel capsule and our rocket oxidizer capsule. Actually, after thinking about it and looking at the machine times and recipes, it doesn't make any sense to do the direct insertion thing. It was just an idea I had because the rocket silo is so big, but it's actually kind of pointless because these things are just as slow as they are in vanilla, just with different recipe ingredients. 30 seconds. We'll be speeding those up. They'll get productivity bonuses. Wow, that's a lot of modules I just used up. We have a decent amount crafted now. So all of my calculations up to this point have been without the productivity bonuses. So we are going to, basically what I'm going to do, we're going to take note of what their crafting speed is here, 3.5. Then we'll put in these guys, which will reduce that all the way down to 0. And then we'll come back to our speed beacony guys, and we will try to get that at least back up to 3.5. So let's see, can 2 beacons do it? Oh, they're not powered, so they're not actually providing benefit. But that's the idea. That's what we're going to be doing. We're not actually getting the accurate calculations up to date. It's calculating this part because it's directly inside the one machine. But this part's basically done. This is the low-density structures. It's pretty simple as far as crafting these things. And then the rocket control units, we will just request those items and put them on belts, send them down. They'll get combined because we're not going to be making them that fast anyway. Those will go directly into here. We might swing that belt by this guy on the way to there so he can get the low-density structures, and similarly we'll swing by with the rocket fuel so we don't have to put those on the network. We need to request the radars and the processing boards, and then the solar panels and accumulators. The only time we're really going to be using these in the whole base is right here, so we're going to direct insert just to make it easier on our network. A little bit more efficient that way. And here's where we needed these new batteries for the accumulators, the blue one and the green one, the lithium ion and the silver zinc, and all the other stuff we'll request that doesn't get directly inserted. So there's that. There is that. And then we come to the complicated bit, or at least the part we've got to work out yet. The rocket fuel. 30 seconds to make, and it requires 2 items, kind of like the others. Rocket fuel capsule and rocket oxidizer capsule. So once we have those 2 items, this part is going to be very similar to that part over there. And we will get productivity bonuses there as well. But I don't think we get it anywhere else. No, we do not. Okay, so here, tell you what, let's go. It's getting dark, so I'm going to be quick about this before I start working on the more advanced layout. Here's one half of it. We have to make the rocket oxidizer with nitric acid and dinitrogen tetroxide gas, which sounds crazy complicated. But really, all of that is just these machines, and we're just matching up the symbols like it is a puzzle game, more or less, is basically how we're doing it. Like that, etc., like we've done before. We need the oxygen there, nitrogen output, which we don't need, I don't think. Do we need it? No, we need that, like, here or whatever. Yeah, and then, of course, the pipes should not be connecting like that if we don't want them, and we will be using the catalysts occasionally. But mostly, it's just trying to use the symbols and not get too overwhelmed with the chemistry names and making the pipes hook up in a proper manner. Kind of stuff we've done before, and it's dark. But briefly, here's all the machines. The other half is more complicated. The rocket fuel capsule takes dimethylhydrazine gas and hydrazine gas, and all of that stuff comes from all of these. So a little bit more bulk, but it should still be a little bit basically straightforward. All right, well, I think I've got half of it laid out, the more complicated, bulkier, more space-consuming half. So let's plug everything in and see if it works. We will start here with some lovely salinated water being pumped up from... We don't need that. I'm still getting used to the new keybinds with 4 toolbars. Keep scrolling to the wrong one, or assuming I only have 2. Old muscle memory dies hard. Okay, so salinated water split into chlorine and hydrogen and salt. Salt going down the line into this gigantic buffer chest, and then it's going to get turned into hypochlorite once we get enough of it. Did I skip sodium hydroxide? Or did it already back up? We've got chlorine gas. Oh, okay, so it's not making more because we don't have the ammonia yet. Okay, so let's do that part. So what are we missing here? We need red metal catalysts. I gave you those. You have made the ammonia from the hydrogen and the nitrogen. Nitrogen coming from over here to the left, burning off the oxygen. Okay, so we're making that much. That seems good. When we get excess chlorine gas there, it's going to get burnt off eventually, just so things don't shut down, because we have one of something and not one of the other. And same thing with oxygen, or hydrogen rather, over here. Okay, so that's stuff, and I did not add lights to this part of the layout, so how about we do that right now? Because it is dark, we'll play the skip one game. Skip one, skip one. Okay, maybe that's better. And then maybe we'll do a kind of similar thing over here. Just add a little brightness. Okay, so what's the issue here? The ammonia gas. Oh, okay. Found the problem. There we go. Okay, so ammonia gas getting added with that salt stuff to make monochloramine. The monochloramine is getting added with even more ammonia gas to make hydrazine with the catalysts involved. Hydrazine is going all the way down this line to add this stuff. Oh, look, we got rocket fuel capsules. Okay, so it's working. I don't know if it's totally optimized or perfected or whatever. There may be problems in the system, but at least it's working a little bit. This is a methanol gas barreling pump we are getting from our logistics network, and same thing here. So this whole system uses a ton of ammonia. So we're using even more of this ammonia with methanol gas. That's making methylamine. Sorry, let me read it again. Methylamine. Jesse, it's time to cook. The methylamine gets added with methanol gas to make dimethylamine. I don't know anything about chemistry, so I'm just reading names off here. Then the dimethylamine gets combined with more of that monochloramine from the left side to make dimethylhydrazine. And that's the other half of our ingredients. So now we've got all these guys being produced, which is half of the very complicato, the rocket fuel. It's the more complicated part. Takes up a lot of space. I kind of do like this layout, though. It's nice. I like the way that I'm just sort of patting myself on the back right now. Good job, Zisteau. Oh, thank you, Zisteau. But I like the way that I split up the air filters on the left and the right. It's got, like, this part of it is fairly, it's nicely laid out and symmetrical, which is cool. All right, so now we have to do the other half, which involves some nitric acid, many fewer machines, so the layout should be a little bit less clunky, or less bulky anyway. Okay, presto, changeo, alakazam. With the magic of editing, we have a finished layout. Let's plug in the water for the back end and see what I screwed up, if anything. And then after this, basically, this is it. This is all we need to do. We can plug in the rest of the stuff for the rocket. So we should be launching a rocket in just a little bit. Let's see if all this stuff is making. We're separating the air into nitrogen and oxygen. Over here, if I can make my way through these little pipes. We are making ammonia with the synthesis and the catalyst frames. That's getting made into nitrogen monoxide synthesis. Oh, yeah, I already see them on the belt. That's going to dinitrogen tetroxide, whatever, on one side. Then over here on the other side, we've got nitric acid. Bam. Okay, we got both sides of the belt getting going. These guys are getting made, and we need to do something here. So they currently have a crafting speed of 3.5. Now that everything's plugged in, we want productivity 3.5. That knocked it. Oh, that's already okay. That's all we needed is one of these beacons. Does it hit all of them? It does. All right. Oh, look at it go. Oh yeah. That's as much productivity as we can get. Power is fine. It's just using a normal inserter because it's super slow. That's that one guy. I did not put lights here, so let's do that. Just put a few there. Okay, that's very nice. And this guy is, the rocket fuel is going past there and shouldn't be getting added to here. Oh, but it's not because of the curve. It can't reach it fast enough. There, okay. So we have to put it on a diagonal. I forgot about that. That sometimes if you put it on the corner, it'll have a hard time. We need to get these guys going. So let's just do this, do this, do this, and then tell them not to look for the actual accumulators in the whatsits. And that one doesn't have a prerequisite. Okay, and we'll do the same thing here, except for low density structures. Except for rocket fuel, and except for the solar panels. We're going to do the same kind of dealio here to set these guys up. And tell him not to look for the solar panels. Tell him not to look for the solar panels. Tell him to make some solar panels. The rest of that stuff should be getting made there. We've got some rocket fuel already in there. And we're going to have to set up some circuit conditions to make sure that this thing doesn't hog too many resources. We will address that later. Let's get these guys going. So these guys want Speed Module 1, Electronic Processing Board. So we're just going to search to be quick about it. Electronic Processing Board, 200 on that side. And then a Speed Module 1. That's what they want there to go down that side. And then this side, we need titanium plate. It needs to be one whole belt, the topmost belt, I guess. Actually, I know where that is. It's going to be here. Titanium plate. Okay, copy that one. So that whole top belt is that. Then the other two are going to be split between nitinol and plastic. Okay, go to the search bar before you mash the keyboard. Plastic. Okay, so there's that one. And then we want nitinol, which is going to be down here. There it is. Okay, that says 200. Let's just make this the same. And things are arriving. We have our first rocket control units. And these guys, the same thing. We can get some productivity bonuses out of them so that everything made past this point is getting made much quicker. And then we need to add some speed modules to this beacon to get that back over 3.5. Yeah, okay, good. And then same thing on this side. Productivity. In fact, I need to go get more productivity modules, but that is the idea. And how are we doing on this part? A few of those have gotten by. We have not made like I said before, the speed of this base, I mean, the entire place is run on air and algae, so it's running much slower than a vanilla base might, or even another modded base that isn't C-Block. So it's okay that this is taking a while, but it is working. Everything's getting crafted. We've got rocket fuel. I guess we could switch our car over to that. And, oh, we also want productivity bonuses in that. Okay, let me go I need to go get some more modules. How's our power situation? Not so bad. Okay, we can do about double that now. Let me go get some more modules, and we will crank this sucker up. Wait for it to produce. And we are officially ready to go. The satellite's being produced. I had to adjust some numbers on the requester chest, and we weren't making enough of the silicon wafers. So I just sped that up in the back end of the base, that kind of stuff. That basically the optimization stage has arrived. And if I just do this, bam! Okay, now we've got that. And let's just go ahead and launch manually. And go ahead and disable that. We'll do some more complicated circuity stuff with some wires and tell it not to like waste our science and not to dump too many supplies into this guy, that kind of thing. That is always so loud. Holy crap. But first rocket, satellites launched, 1, and we have 1,000 space science. One thing I did notice is that these modded research labs, you can't put productivity modules in them, which I was not accounting for. I was kind of thinking we would get them. There is another lab after this, but I'm not sure it's for this type of science. It might be for the alien science. I haven't researched it yet, so I don't know. And I brought the space science all the way up here just to make it kind of symmetrical with this side, so it looks nice. Boom, there is the first space science. I did put a row of tier 3 beacons here. In fact, we could probably get rid of most of these beacons because the tier 3s are so crazy. This thing's speed is now at 3,600%, which seems kind of fast. There goes the space science. Awesome. So I suppose we should probably do some kind of research, right? That's a good way to end the episode and to celebrate launching our first rocket into space. The first one, probably best one to do, is this one. Worker robot speed, 1,000 of each of those, and we just happen to have gotten 1,000 of that. So what do you know? There we go. There it goes, and we have officially embarked upon our the SpaceX portion of the playthrough. We've got 1 out of 7 satellites launched, and we are 30% to our next rocket. And this guy is what are we waiting for? The solar panels. So this guy should be getting made, and we'll have it in time, probably before we run out of this stuff, I guess, or around that time. There's the next research going. I'm going to close that because that's just going to get more and more irksome. And it looks like we need some charging pads. Okay, robots need more space to charge. This is one of the things we're going to be optimizing. But yeah, from now on, we're going to be kind of making things faster, making sure things work properly, doing lots of research, and getting ready for the super duper endgame. That's going to do it for this episode, though. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Hey, guys, see this charging pad? Why don't you use that? We'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.